Well, it's the last episode of the first season, Mad Idolatry. And it starts out with Ed trying to go have a drink with some crew members because he's bored. And he goes to Malloy, and no, he can't do it, and this dude's busy. And I don't remember a half-naked female in any Next Generation. So, but yeah. And then he goes to Bortus's place. And I don't know what, I guess Ed is just really bored. So the gag is these dudes have some game where they throw around this egg or ball or something, and Ed's like, okay, give me that. Oh, that's easy. You just toss it around this ball. Well, here, I'll hold on to it real long. And then bam, it stabs him in the finger. Ouchie. So yeah. And then so, he goes back to his quarters and calls Kelly on the PA system or the whatchamadinky, phones her up, and they go have a drink together. She's like, yeah, I'll go have a drink with you. Because they're going to patch their relationship up somewhat. We knew that from the last episode. So he basically says, Trujillo put you under his spell, and so we could probably get back together if you want to. And she does. So they get drunk that night, and they go to work the next morning with a hangover. Look at them. It almost looks like the original title picture, but they're drunk. But anyway, it's a short-lived. They get knocked around, and there's a universe, a space is showing up, a planet pops out of nowhere, and so they're going to have to go investigate it. And of course, Isaac here is the android. He knows the most science stuff, except for Lamar apparently. It's kind of jacked up that they put Lamar in charge of engineering. They did the exact same thing on the Next Generation at the second season of the Next Generation. They bumped up Geordi to chief engineer. They did the same thing here. But anyway, back to my explanation. So they go down to the planet, Kelly and Malloy, I think, and Isaac. And of course, they're going to investigate and see what's going on. And they find this girl that sees them, and she runs off and gets hurt. And so Kelly wants to help her. So she pulls out that medical tricorder, the one that heals the skin, and she heals her skin. And I think some other dudes see it, yeah. And then they run off, because there's no prime directive. We've never heard nothing about the prime directive, although they did say be careful when you go down there and don't let anybody see your shit. So they come back and she tells them what happened, and they call this admiral, I guess the admiral finds, no, they're making a report, that's what it is. And the admiral tells them, look, you got seen by these people, don't go back down there, and don't have nothing else to do with them. And so they're like, wow, that's a bummer. So I think Ed disobeys orders and goes back down there. But problem is that planet is out of phase. It's like 700 years go by whenever that planet disappears and shows back up. And Isaac's explaining the theory right here. He's like, look, this planet's out of phase. Yeah, what I just said. So they go back down there. Before that happens, though, they're having dinner and stuff. They're continuing to repair their relationship, and it's pretty nice. And Kelly looks real nice, and Ed looks real nice. And bam, she jumps on him. I need some sugar, baby, or something like that. And I'm just so glad to see them kissing each other and repairing their relationship. Me and my wife really enjoyed that. That seems right. They got a good chemistry together. This is where Isaac's figuring out that a lot of time went by, and they're going to have to go back down to that planet. So they're going to prepare another away mission, or whatever they call it, a landing party or whatever, and go back down there. But this time they cloak their ship so nothing can happen. And it's pretty cool. It's only the second time we've seen them with a cloaked vessel. So they cloak the ship, land on the planet, and they're going to go down there and see what the hell's going on. What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on around here? As that redneck dude from Blazing Saddles would say. Yeah. So that's what happens. And when they get down there, there's a civilization a lot more advanced than it should have been from the last time they saw it. And this lady sees them, and they just barely figuring out that 700 years went by. And she's like, oh, shit, there's the Messiah or God or whatever. Please bless my child, great Kelly. Yeah, that's what she calls him. And Kelly's like, I'm not going to bless your child, but okay, I'll do it. And so she does it. And then a bunch of other people see them, and they go to the village, and they're all worshiping Kelly, and she's basically a god. They've never seen any technology like that, so it's just like in the Star Trek reboot movie when they were running through the hot planet, and there's like a big giant statue of her. and they start worshiping her, just like they did that one time. And I don't think they did it this big in the Next Generation. I really can't remember. But this one, yeah, they go all out here. And they're wrote like the great Kelly and all this stuff. So she intervenes, I think. Yeah, they go to see the Pope. The Pope's down here. She's the Virgin Kelly, I guess. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And they go and see the Pope, and they're going to explain to him, I think, that, you know, that is not, I am not a god, I'm just a mortal like you, I just come from another place, and stuff like that. She pulls out her knife and cuts her hand and says, look, I'm going to show you right now that I can fix it. And she takes her, and besides, look how stupid Malloy is over here. He's a goofball. And she shows him how she can heal her hand, and that it's just technology, and that, you know, they don't need to be worshiping her. It's like, please do not worship me. So, see how this works? And she gives the Pope, or the, you know, whatever, a knife, and says, here, you do yourself. So he cuts his hand and heals his own hand, so he can see for sure that she's just technology. And so they think they fixed the timeline. I guess that's what their plan is. They disobeyed the Admiral's orders, though, to go down there, which is kind of messed up. And what's even more messed up, when they leave, this dude back here in the background, he's going to stab him and kill him because he doesn't want to reveal the truth about Kelly not being a god, because they're all in control of this religion. He's in control of the whole planet, and he wants to keep themselves in control. And that's probably what would happen in real life if something like this happened. Nothing like this can happen on Earth, I guess. You know, who knows? Maybe it could. What do you think? So they go, every 7 days or every 11 days the planet comes out, but 700 years went by. So 11 days went by, and they're looking at it, and they got CNN now on there after 11 days, 700 years. Though it's advanced, the computer age has come out, and they're just progressing as the hundreds of years go by in their phased out universe. And Isaac says, I will leave myself behind on the planet because I do not age like you guys. So I can go 700 years is like 7 seconds to me. And they're all tripping out like, damn, wow. But that's what they do. Isaac goes down to the planet and stays down there 700 years, but only 11 days go by for these dudes. So he's going to go down there and help them advance to a point where they have space travel and just monitor the 700 years and be there on hand to make sure nothing else crazy happens. And so that's what happens. 700 years go by, 11 days, and the universe, the planet appears out of the phased out time. And when they get there, they have space travel, and these aliens come over with Isaac like, yes, he explained everything to us. And basically religion is like, at the end of this show, this is very close to the end, they're saying, as long as you educate yourself and advance your technology, you'll realize that religion's bogus and you shouldn't worship anything. That's sort of the point that I got, which gave me the same weird feeling I had at the end of episode 3 where they changed the girl into a boy. I didn't want them to do it, and I didn't want them to say this to me here. But if you think about it, it's open to interpretation. They're just basically saying it's good that you educate people and they can make their own choice about whatever they want to in the world. I thought it was a great episode, but I just don't like being forced what to think. But if you think about it, religion is forcing you what to think. I don't know. What do you think about this episode and the way that Seth MacFarlane is pushing the fact that he thinks religion is not real? Anyway, back to the show. They're going to break up, basically. Kelly tells him, I can't be with you because it's always going to be some big disaster like this, and she leaves, and he's all sad. So she's not going to try to get with him, but they'll get together. So I guess he's going to start drinking again because, look, he's got a drink in his hand. Well, it's a real bummer that the show is over for this season. I thought it was a great season. Thought this was a good episode. Not the best. Thought it was the top. It was right in the middle. This episode was a middle-of-the-road episode because of the way he's pushing that religion is not real. That's the way I feel that, you know, MacFarlane is saying. What do you think? Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to put lots of interviews and other shows up. I'm going to put all the Family Guy episodes that have Star Trek in them and anything else I can find as content. This is Trek Genius signing off for now. Comment and subscribe. Over and out.
Wait, before you you click away, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to me. Well, not really, but it means a lot to someone, I'm sure. Also, if you like what you just watched, you can see even more content on the Fox Now app. Don't say I ever gave you nothing.